8 reasons your muscles are not growing. Your muscles aren't growing. Why? You think you're doing the right exercises, you think you're eating right, however, the mirror and scale say the same thing. You're not gaining any muscle. What mistake are you making? There's a multitude of mistakes you can make when trying to increase muscle mass. Some are so simple that they're often overlooked. Others are a little more complex and take a little more time to fix. In this video, we're going to dive into the common mistakes people make when trying to build muscle and how to fix them. You're not eating enough. This is the most common reason your muscles aren't growing. You're simply not consuming enough calories to justify to your body that you need to grow. Remember, the body is concerned with keeping you alive. That's it. It doesn't care if you want 6-pack abs or 24-inch biceps. It just wants to stay alive. So, if you're going to convince it to create more muscle, you have to feed it like there's no chance you'll ever go through a period of starvation. Why? Because muscle is metabolically active, meaning it requires calories to function. So, there's a caloric cost to more muscle mass. That's why bodybuilders can consume 6,000 calories per day without gaining hardly any fat. They have so much muscle mass that they're burning a crazy amount of calories just doing their daily activities. And when they exercise, they're burning even more calories than your typical 140-pound guy who doesn't even have any muscle mass. Thus, they eat ridiculously large amounts of food because their bodies require ridiculously large amounts of energy. Although there are a handful of variables that will influence how many calories you'll need, an easy calculation that works extremely well is taking your body weight in pounds and multiplying it by 16. So, if you weigh 150 pounds, you would eat 2,400 calories per day to gain muscle. 150 times 16 equals 2,400. Of course, if you're not gaining at least 1 pound on average a week, you would increase your daily calories by 500 and then adjust the following week depending on what the scale says. You're not eating enough protein. Whereas calories are king when it comes to overall energy requirements, protein is critical specifically for the muscles for 3 reasons. For one, protein is the building blocks for muscle. If you're not consuming enough daily, you're not giving the muscles enough building material to grow. Think of it like watering a plant. If you're not giving the plant enough water, it doesn't have what it needs to get bigger, so it won't grow, and possibly even shrivel up and die. Secondly, unlike carbohydrates and fats, the body can't store protein for future use. So, it's important to eat enough daily. If not, your body will not only halt muscle growth, but more importantly, begin breaking down your muscles to supply for your body with protein so it can use it for other, more important functions. In fact, the branched chain amino acid leucine almost acts like a switch for muscle growth. When the muscle senses there's enough leucine present, specific muscle building processes are turned on. So, how much protein do you need daily to maximize muscle growth? Again, depending on which study you read, the recommendations will vary slightly. To make things simple, most experts would agree that you should aim for 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. If you weigh 150 pounds, then that means that you would need to consume 150 grams of protein daily. You're not eating enough carbohydrates. Although this isn't as common of a mistake as eating too little protein, there has been an increased fear of carbohydrates lately, and it's becoming more commonplace to eat less than you need. Here's why eating too few carbohydrates will keep your muscles from growing. First, your muscles need energy to lift weights. Without it, you won't be able to do the necessary work in the weight room at a high enough intensity to stimulate muscle growth. Although your body can use different substrates to create energy because of the intensity and length of a resistance training session, carbohydrates are the preferred substrate for the majority of a lifting session. Secondly, most people assume protein is the only macronutrient that's important for recovery. However, carbohydrates are just as important for the reason mentioned above in point 1. Because a resistance training session can deplete all of your carbohydrate stores to fuel its energy needs, you need to replenish those stores before your next weightlifting session, or you'll impair the muscle growth that takes place in between sessions. Much like leucine mentioned above, your body also has sensors to keep track of your glycogen, stored carbohydrates, storage within the muscles and liver. If glycogen is depleted, your body will reduce the muscle growth machinery because it senses that there is an energy shortage. How much do you need to maximize muscle growth? Again, much like calories and protein, it depends on a multitude of factors. However, a general recommendation is to consume 2 to 3 grams of carbohydrates per pound of body weight. If you weigh 150 pounds, then you will consume anywhere from 300 to 450 grams of carbohydrates per day. To increase glycogen resynthesis after a workout so you can speed recovery, consume anywhere from 40 to 60 grams of carbohydrates immediately after you're finished. Add 25 grams of protein and you will have a potent muscle building post-workout cocktail. You aren't eating enough fats. Fat doesn't just taste good and provide a lot of calories per gram, but it's also critical to the creation of your hormones. Extremely low-fat diets have been shown in research to reduce the amount of hormones like testosterone produced in your body. Testosterone is one, if not the key hormone when it comes to muscle growth. It doesn't matter how many calories and or how much protein you are eating. If you don't have adequate amounts of testosterone being produced in your body, then your muscle growth will be minimal. That's why men have much more muscle than women, as well as why as you get older, you'll lose muscle at a faster rate, less testosterone. So, it's extremely important that you eat enough high-quality fat to maintain adequate hormone production. A general rule of thumb is to consume between 0.5 and 0.75 grams of fat per pound body weight daily. If you weigh 150 pounds, then you will consume between 75 and 112 grams of fat per day. You're overtraining. This is an extremely common mistake by overzealous beginners. It's the fallacy that more is better. If 10 sets of chest exercises made me grow, then 30 sets of chest exercises will make me grow 3 times as fast. Wrong. What you're forgetting is that muscle growth doesn't happen during a training session, but instead happens between training sessions. What a training session essentially does is break down your muscle tissue, which lets your body know it needs to get stronger and bigger. If there's enough calories and protein present and your hormones are in check, then that is exactly what your body attempts to do in between sessions. It repairs and rebuilds. So, if you spend all of your time in the gym, then you won't give your body enough time to recover and rebuild, and you will eventually reach the point of overtraining, which results in a loss of strength and muscle mass. And don't forget that training burns calories. The more time you spend training, the more calories you'll burn, and in turn, the more calories you'll need to consume to be in a calorie surplus to increase muscle growth. The goal of training is to do just enough to stimulate muscle growth, so then your muscles have more time to recover and grow. Here are a few tips on minimizing the risk of overtraining when it comes to workout design. Keep your training sessions to under an hour. Research has shown that intense training sessions lasting longer than an hour shift the body's hormones into a catabolic state, which will impair muscle growth. Don't take every set of every exercise to failure. Although that may work initially, eventually it will lead to burnout and overtraining. Train each major muscle group using between 12 to 20 sets per week. Those sets can all be in one workout or divided into 2 to 3 workouts throughout the week. Much like anything else, exercise follows the law of diminishing returns, meaning the more work you do, the less results you get from the additional work. Research has shown that using more than 20 sets per week provides little, if any, benefit compared to doing 12 to 20 sets per week. You're running too much. If you run, you'll eat away at your muscle tissue. How many times have you heard that? Although most people use it as an excuse to avoid cardio, there is some truth to it, especially if you're a skinny guy trying to build muscle. Cardio, like running and biking, is not necessarily bad. In fact, you should be doing some, even if your only goal is to build muscle. It aids in recovery, reduces stress, and keeps your heart healthy, which are all critical requirements if you want to maximize your muscle growth. However, cardio can impair your muscle growth if you're not eating enough calories and protein, so it's putting you in a caloric deficit, which signals to your muscles that there is not enough energy to grow. You're doing too much of it. 30 to 60 minutes of moderate paced cardio 2 to 3 times per week is more than enough to keep your heart healthy and improve your ability to recover. Running 100 plus miles per week is a totally different story. That much cardio will impair muscle growth. Doing 30 to 60 minute HIIT sessions 7 days per week is just as bad, even if you're doing circuit training with a barbell. You're not lifting weights. When combined with cardio, resistance training provides the balance you need to maximize muscle growth. It signals the muscle building machinery to turn on, even if you're doing cardio too. Without it, your body will assume your primary goal is to be more efficient at running or biking, and thus reduce unnecessary muscle mass for those activities. You're using the wrong rep ranges. The amount of repetitions you do during a set, and in turn the weight you use, dictate the outcome of that set because different intensities affect your muscular and nervous system differently. Trainers call that the law of specificity. So, if you wanted to get stronger, then you would use sets with repetitions anywhere from 1 rep to 5 reps. That intensity challenges your nervous system more than your muscular system. If you want to build bigger muscles, sets with repetitions between 6 and 15 seem to work best. They seem to provide the right combination of mechanical tension and metabolic stress to stimulate the muscle to grow. If your goal is to build muscular endurance, sets with repetitions greater than 15 work the best. The longer time under tension challenges the cardiorespiratory and muscular systems and increases vascularization. The most common mistake with regards to rep ranges when it comes to building muscle is that beginners want to lift heavy too often. You'll see them performing 1 rep maxes every other week and using sets with 5 or less repetitions so that they can use heavy weights. Although that may work initially, it's not the ideal rep range to build muscle. You never change programs. The body's ability to adapt is incredible. However, when it comes to building bigger muscles, it's that adaptability that often prevents the challenge. You simply cannot grow using the same weight for the same sets with the same repetitions forever. You must include progressive overload in your training, which is a fancy way of saying you need to increase the intensity and or volume of your training to continually provide muscle with an adequate growth stimulus. For example, for the first 4 weeks, you'll probably see great chest and tricep growth from doing 6 sets of 10 repetitions with 135 pounds on the bench press. However, eventually your body will adapt to that volume and intensity, and unless you either increase the sets, the repetitions, and or the weight, then your muscle will stop growing because they are not being challenged enough. You've probably experienced that before, the plateau. So, what should you do? Trainers recommend that you switch up your training program every 4 to 6 weeks. The changes do not have to be drastic to be effective. Increase or decrease the repetitions slightly, change how many sets you're doing, and or change a few of the exercises. All you need is a new stimulus to prevent staleness. That new stimulus will present a new challenge which will signal your muscles to start growing again. Conclusion. Don't be frustrated if you hit a plateau with muscle growth. Simply go down the list just provided and make sure that you're checking off each box. With a little digging, you'll find what's preventing you from gaining muscle, and once you fix it, with a little patience and hard work, your muscles will start growing again.